Today we're diving into my wishlist for the Injustice 3 roster. Some characters have been brought back as twisted shadows of their former selves, and the rest are fighting for survival as the world unravels. Let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern Hal Jordan, and Aquaman. They're the foundation of the Justice League in every Injustice game. But this time, even they're not enough to hold back what's coming. With the dead rising and old allies becoming enemies, these six face their most impossible war yet. Swamp Thing is a tanky brawler with plant-based traps, healing, and terrain control. He's a Bane replacement, another grappler. He senses rot corrupting the green, the work of Necron. As death creeps into nature, he rises again to stop the infection from spreading into the earth itself. Lex Luthor is a zoning tech user with drones, shields, and energy weaponry. He's been preparing for the end, but not like this. He allies himself with Earth's defenders, but not out of loyalty. He believes Necron can be used. Constantine is a caster-type fighter with curses, demon summons, and zone control. He's one of the few who actually understands what Necron is. He's not fighting for victory, he's trying to delay the inevitable and maybe save a soul or two before the darkness swallows everything. Etrigan is a flame-heavy juggernaut with leaping strikes and chained combos. He emerges when the gates of hell tremble from Necron's presence. But even the demon fears the dead that walk, and fights to stop his own realm from becoming Necron's next conquest. Big Barda is a heavy bruiser with AoE slams, armor breaks, and brutal mid-range pressure. She returns to Earth seeking answers after Apocalypse goes silent. What she finds is worse: Mr. Miracle is dead, and has returned as one of Necron's champions. Black Canary is an agile counterfighter with grapples, speed rushes, and her signature Canary Cry, identical to her in the previous game. She's leading a dying resistance. Cities are falling. Hope is fading. And every time she fights off an undead soldier, it's someone she once trained with. Shazam is a form-switching hybrid with divine lightning strikes and close-range mix-ups. Think of it like a more polished version of his Injustice 1 counterpart, but with attacks like Raiden and Black Adam. He was killed years ago. Now, he's back, resurrected by Necron, his god powers twisted. The boy is gone. All that's left is an undead weapon of war. Zatanna is a trickster mage with reversed inputs, hexes, and defensive spells. She's Earth's last arcane protector. With Constantine and Etrigan, she fights to seal the realms of the dead, but it may already be too late. Star Sapphire is an emotion-based zoner with hard-light constructs and defensive shields. As Necron devours emotion itself, Carol tries to prove that love still holds power, even when the universe bleeds. Professor PYG is a gore-heavy grappler with traps, bleeds, and chaotic mix-ups. He plays like the Joker from Injustice 2 in this game. He thrives in a world falling apart. He sees Necron's army as competition and begins carving his own army, one perfect piece at a time. Steel is a tanky melee fighter with hammer smashes, energy bursts, and jetpack dashes. He rises as a new symbol for the living. He builds armor not just for himself, but for the young heroes trying to stand their ground as the world burns. Metallo is a mid-range zoner with kryptonite-powered blasts and overheating mechanics. He was dead. Now he's back, fused with Black Lantern tech. He no longer thinks, he obeys. Kryptonite pulses green, but his soul is pitch black. Sinestro is a fear-based control fighter with constructs, pressure fields, and trap zoning. He senses opportunity. He offers Earth safety through fear and control, but secretly seeks to overthrow Necron and claim his power. Raven is a sorceress with shadow portals, demonic bursts, and chain hexes. She is no longer herself. Her soul was shattered when Trigon was torn from her, and Necron stitched the fragments into something worse. She is now fully corrupted, and her design would be massively improved. Starfire is an aerial zoner with plasma beams, dive attacks, and flight mix-ups. She would play mostly the same as in Injustice 2. She returns to warn Earth after witnessing Necron's destruction of Tamarin, but when she arrives, it's already too late. Her sister isn't her sister anymore. Nightwing is an agile melee fighter with mix-ups, parries, and aerial acrobatics. He's the new leader of Batman's resistance. He's already lost too many allies. Now he watches the dead rise, including some he loved, and he has to fight them. Vandal Savage is an immortal bruiser with weapon stance shifts, healing bursts, and time-slowing tech. He doesn't fear death, he laughs at it. He believes the age of men is over. Now, he plots to survive the age of the dead and crown himself king. Rorschach is a wild-card brawler with unpredictable chain combos and dirty counters. He was summoned from a dying multiverse. He was dead, but Necron brought him back, and twisted him. He speaks the same words. But the fire's gone. What's left is cold justice. Necron is the boss-tier summoner with corpse waves, black ring constructs, and life drain. He has returned to erase life, not to kill, but to silence. He brings with him the corrupted dead, building a lantern army of darkness that grows every day. Black Hand is a necrotic grappler with lifesteal chains, undead summons, and plague debuffs. He's Necron's prophet. He's the one who's digging up Earth's fallen heroes, and turning them into mindless soldiers for the Black. Atrocitus is a rage-based rushdown fighter with flame constructs and berserker buffs. He would play almost the same as his Injustice 2 counterpart. He hates Necron more than anything. He believes rage is life, and Necron perverts it. He joins the war not to save Earth, but to burn the enemy first. Amazo is a copycat fighter who mimics enemy abilities and evolves mid-match. He could fight like Shang Tsung and Superman combined, which I think would be pretty cool. He was corrupted after scanning a resurrected hero. Now, he copies the undead. He's no longer artificial intelligence. He's artificial death. Lady Shiva is a precision-based counter fighter with punishing parries and fast strike chains. She only respects strength. Now she wants to test the limits of death itself. By fighting every resurrected Black Lantern and putting them back in the ground, I think she would be very fun to play as. Poison Ivy is a toxin-based controller with traps, healing fields, and spreading vines. She views humanity's extinction as nature's salvation. As Necron devours cities, she grows forests in the ashes. She's not fighting the dead, she's replacing the living. Cersei is a hex-heavy zoner with illusions, soul drains, and magical corruption. She allies with Necron willingly, trading loyalty for power. She intends to rule the underworld, and the living world, as queen of both. Larfleeze is a greed-based minion summoner with hoarding mechanics and charge buffs. He doesn't want to stop Necron. He wants to own him. And if he can collect the black rings and all the souls within, even better. Mr. Miracle is an escape-focused speedster with trap escapes, phase dodges, and reversals. Necron tried to resurrect him, and failed. He escaped the Black Lantern's grasp and now fights to save Barda, who wasn't so lucky. And that's the full main roster with a total of 32 characters. The base roster already gave us a deep, grim look into the war between life and death, but the DLC packs. They take the roster to an entirely new level, bringing in legacy heroes, wildcards, and even brutal surprises from beyond. Each pack is loaded with fan favorites and newcomers alike. Let's go through all 3 DLC packs, starting with the first. DLC Pack 1 is the most narratively connected to the core story. First, we've got Hawkgirl, a high-flying brawler with spinning mace combos, wing-based dive attacks, and strong air control. She's returned to Earth after sensing a disruption in her reincarnation cycle, one caused by Necron himself. She's here to break the cycle of undeath and make her stand. Then there's Metamorpho. He's a shape-shifting powerhouse who changes his form mid-match, turning into stone, gas, metal, and even acid to overwhelm his enemies. He brings chaos to the battlefield, adapting to any matchup. Metamorpho's return isn't natural. He was presumed dead, but something, or someone, forced him back into this world. He fights to regain control over his unstable form before it tears him apart. Now, Dr. Manhattan. He's a zoning and utility character with screen manipulation, teleportation, and particle disintegration. He isn't a guest character, and he's not here for story reasons. He's just here, because players wanted him. And in terms of gameplay, he offers one of the most unique kits in the entire roster. He doesn't blink. He doesn't block. He just watches. And then deletes you. Next, we've got Doom Guy, the iconic Demon Slayer from the Doom series. He's a relentless rushdown character who chains together shotgun blasts, chainsaw slashes, melee punches, and explosive glory kills. His arrival isn't tied to the Injustice narrative, it's just pure fun. Fast-paced, brutal momentum-based combat. With aerial combos, ground slams, and health-scaling damage buffs, he gets stronger as the fight gets bloodier. While his story isn't tied to Necron, Invincible fits perfectly in this brutal world. He's already been tested in his own, and he's not afraid to get messy again. Last in DLC Pack 1 is Dante from Devil May Cry. He's a fluid, flashy character with real-time style switching between swordplay, dual pistols, and his Devil Trigger demon form. Dante isn't here to save anything, he's just here because this kind of chaos is his playground. He taunts, fights, and laughs his way through the roster with ridiculous combos and personality to spare. That's DLC Pack 1. Now let's move into DLC Pack 2. This pack doesn't carry any story weight, it's pure roster love. First up is Power Girl, the Earth 2 version of Supergirl. She's a Kryptonian bruiser with heavy strikes, aerial laser zoning, and armor-breaking specials. She's faster than Superman, but hits just as hard. Then there's Martian Manhunter. He's back, with shape-shifting limbs, mid-range zoning, and phase-through counters. He's not tied into the core story this time, just a welcome return with a refined, deadlier moveset. Telepathy, invisibility, and flight make him a nightmare in the right hands. Next is Stargirl. She's a long-range fighter using her cosmic staff for charged beam shots, launchers, and aerial zoning. Her mobility and pressure game make her a standout pick for players who love spacing and keep away. Then we've got 3 characters from Mortal Kombat, which I thought was fitting because Injustice 1 had 1 Mortal Kombat character, 2 had 2, so 3 should have 3. Next is Kitana. She plays like a balanced mix of rushdown and zoning, using her fans to poke at range, then closing in with teleport combos and acrobatic pressure. She's stylish, deadly, and a perfect guest inclusion. Right after her is Melina, a feral, savage rushdown character with low overhead mix-ups, deadly grabs, and poison-enhanced normals. She's unpredictable, aggressive, and horrifying to face up close. And rounding out the second pack is Liu Kang, now the Fire God, with blazing kicks, flame strikes, parries, and dragon-themed finishers. He's a top-tier all-rounder who feels like a true boss once he gets going. No story tie-in, just a powerhouse addition for the competitive scene. Now on to DLC Pack 3. Like the second pack, these characters don't play into the narrative. But they're some of the most unique and creative fighters on the list. Cyborg returns with upgraded tech, now featuring plasma drones, trap mines, and cannon bursts. His new kit focuses on controlling the battlefield from mid-range, with powerful lockout tools and zone denial. Mr. Terrific joins the fight as a high IQ tactician with floating T-spheres. He can summon traps, deflect projectiles, and control space with brilliant gadgetry. He's a great pick for methodical players who love baiting and countering. Next is Trigon. He's massive. He's slow. But when he lands a hit, it hurts. He uses Demon Fire, Hell Blasts, and devastating command grabs, basically the counterpart to Darkseid, being a big villain but having no story significance. He's all about psychological pressure and dominance. And even though he's not in the story this time, he brings final boss energy into every fight. Then Brainiac is back. Faster, deadlier, and redesigned. He uses high-tech tentacle whips, teleport counters, and cerebral overload attacks. His new style makes him more technical, but extremely dangerous when mastered. The highly requested Beast Boy enters. His move sets include different animal shape-shifting like tigers, bears, lions, rams and more. He's added just because fans want him, and his inclusion means the whole Teen Titans are in this game. Then we get into full-on horror territory with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. He's a terrifying grappler with armored swings, unblockables, and screen control pressure. He's slow, but his presence alone throws off opponents. He turns the battlefield into a nightmare. Finally, Pinhead from Hellraiser. He uses chain-based setups, dimensional gates, and torment mechanics that debuff and punish opponents over time. Pinhead isn't just here to fight, he's here to torment. And if you're caught in his trap setups, you won't get out unscarred. I also included a pre-order bonus character of Static. He fights like Raiden but with mostly ranged attacks. He has alternate costumes for Static Shock and Black Lightning. That's the complete DLC breakdown, 18 characters total, bringing even more playstyles, fandoms, and chaos into an already stacked roster. Some of them expand the world. Others just push the limits of what Injustice 3 can offer in gameplay. Either way, the battlefield is bigger than ever. Outside the playable roster, Injustice 3 features a wide range of story NPCs, some with major narrative importance, others appearing in cinematics, missions, or background events. These characters help flesh out the world and raise the stakes. White Lantern Hal is one of the most powerful NPCs in the story. After rejecting Necron's call, Hal is chosen by the Life Entity to wield the White Ring, becoming Necron's natural opposite. Though not playable, he serves as a guiding force for the surviving heroes, protecting key zones and turning the tide in the final chapters. The Guardians of the Universe make brief but powerful appearances. Helpless to stop Necron, they eventually shut down portions of the emotional spectrum to prevent total collapse. Their failure is part of what drives the Lantern factions into chaos. Blue Beetle shows up as a Resistance tech lead, helping Steel and Mr. Terrific develop anti-resurrection fields and armor for non-powered survivors. He's not playable this time around, but his presence is vital to the Living's defense. Starfire appears in both playable and NPC form. She's initially captured and corrupted by Necron, but later breaks free during the story's midpoint, regaining her sense of self. Her turn is one of the key emotional moments in the campaign. Hawkman briefly aids Hawkgirl in her personal mission to stop the Black Lantern resurrection cycle. He dies early in the story, only to return later as a corrupted NPC boss, forcing Hawkgirl to face him. Godspeed is a fun villain featured in a battle between him and Barry Allen. He later joins the Flash against Necron and his army and is shown to have survived. The Joker appears through flashbacks and memories, and Harley Quinn makes an appearance near the start of the story, ultimately dying to a resurrected Nightwing. Jon Stewart, Kilowog, and Guy Gardner are all seen falling in battle during the Green Lantern collapse. Some rise again as Black Lantern versions of themselves, others remain missing. Their fates are left intentionally unclear. Dr. Fate shows up briefly, trying to lock Necron out of the mortal plane. He fails. His helmet is later found, still glowing, buried in the rubble. Alfred has one quiet, powerful scene, delivering one of the final messages from Bruce to the Resistance after Wayne Manor falls. His presence adds weight, but he's never seen again. Black Adam returns briefly as a former regime tyrant who now fights to defend his people. But when Kondak falls, Adam joins the final war, and disappears during the last stand. Whether he survived or rose again is unknown. And finally, Deadwing, a new NPC who provides an emotional battle multiple times throughout the story between Batman and him. And that wraps our full breakdown of the Injustice 3 roster, every fighter, every DLC pack, and every NPC that helped shape the story. If you made it this far, I want to know, who do you want to see fight Necron? Who's missing? Who's your dream DLC character? Drop a comment, hit like if you enjoyed this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe.